What's up, everyone, and welcome to the 35th episode of the Envision Gaming Podcast. I'm your host, Brad's Gaming. As always, I'm joined by Clownish Joe.
Hello, everyone.
And Triple Bravo.
Howdy, folks.
So this week, we're going to be talking about that sweet FromSoftware. Some of our favorite game developer is out there. Obviously, we all have our own. I know Joe that gets all gooey inside when he hears about FromSoftware. So we kind of, with the release of Elden Ring actually being, which blew my mind when Joe told me earlier, being literally less than a week away.
No,
Joe's 5 sleeps away.
5 sleeps away.
5 sleeps away. It's quite crazy. I don't know. I feel like we were talking about this so long ago. Now it's already here. But yeah, So we did miss an episode. We had a lot going on.
Everybody was sick.
Everybody dying. slowly dying.
Bravo fleeing the country.
Yeah. My voice still might be a little off, but
yeah, it is a little off.
It sounds horrible.
I'm just gonna shut up. So yeah, because it's gonna be, I think, a longer episode, we'll skip the question of the week. I think that should be kind of, I don't know if you guys had anything.
I thought we just decided on it.
Well, kind of decided on it.
Well, we'll send it.
We all thought about it.
Question of the week. How you doing, girl?
Yeah. All right.
No, really.
That shirt color goes well with your eyes.
Thank you.
Oh, man. Well, what do we want to do? Just favorite FromSoftware game, or one before the Souls games? Yeah.
I just favorite FromSoftware.
Yeah, I don't have any outside of.
All right, Joe, start it off.
So my favorite FromSoft game of all time is Bloodborne.
Whoa.
Nice.
I think it's just the best overall atmosphere and the best combination of all of them.
Mm. We're obviously going to dive deeper.
Yeah. I'm not gonna.
What about you, Bravo?
I was gonna say Bloodborne.
You could. It's not like you can't. You have to say something different.
Yeah.
If it's your
Now
favorite.
Bravo has the wrong answer. Ha ha!
Yeah.
Copy me again. What else is new?
Now that your opinion matches Joe's, you're wrong.
Yeah, I think Bloodborne. What about you, Brad?
Bradley?
Demon Souls.
Remake or original?
I mean, I'd probably say the remake, but the reason is it's the game that started it, and before the game really like blew up or anything, I found some random dude that was talking about it on YouTube, and he was kind of pushing everybody to go try to buy the collector's edition for it, and he's like, "Go buy it. It's gonna be rare. This game's gonna be huge and stuff." And
Oh boy.
Here we are.
Yeah.
It's rare. The game's huge.
Yeah. So I don't know. It has a special place in my heart for me. Like, I have a lot of memories about the original Demon Souls on PS3 specifically, but I'd pick obviously the PS5 version over it. So
The PS5 it was a console seller for me. That's why I have this nice paperweight on my desk and with the name of a PlayStation 5.
It's been hard not to put in a Souls game right now, but I'm like, yeah, it's just you might as well just wait it out, and I don't want to burn myself out of anything.
Yeah, I'm in full burnout mode. I'm made it through Dark Souls 1, Dark Souls 2, almost through Sakiro.
Joe's purchased 7 games trying to buy his time. Not one of them is he put more than 5 hours into.
Yeah.
My attention span is like an hour and a half tops for anything outside of Elden Ring right now.
Everything makes him upset. He's just...
Yeah, I'm really glad that I like Lost Ark, because I just sink my time into that. It's
I was like, this Lost Ark's gonna put me over. Nope.
Yeah.
I was like, all right. Pokemon. All right. League of Legends. Smite. Valorant. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. the last chance to try anything. We're finally playing through The Last of Us Part 2. And don't tell Brad,
I was lucky. I was just dying for a week, so I didn't. I just slept.
Yeah, it definitely helps that I was gone on a work trip for the last week, so I wasn't even able to play. So I just worked and slept.
I literally slept probably, I don't know, close to 16 hours each day. It was pretty impressive.
I'm just gonna say Thursday the 24th, I will be in bed all day prepping. Once midnight 12:01 rolls around, see you boys in a week.
Gonna have that lotion ready all Thursday.
I think it's gonna be pretty hard to sleep on that day before.
Kind of a mural of all the Souls games.
I'm just not gonna. That's the thing. Just be ready.
I'm hoping that because unlike Joe, so Joe hasn't really started his collection yet. I actually already have all of them physical on PlayStation, so I'm like, all right, I have to buy a physical. I don't really want to double dip, and I'm like, whatever. So I ordered it, and because I live out in the middle of nowhere, and we'll talk about that during the catch-up episode. But I'm hoping I get it on time. At least, if I put it this way, if I can get the game by 4 p.m., I'm happy, because I have to work anyways. So
fair.
Wouldn't be able to start. If I can get it before then, so I can put it in the game and then install it while I'm working, I think that's a win.
Yeah. So fun fact, I own every game but Sekiro on disc, just not all on one system. They kind of I zigzag them. Obviously, Bloodborne's only on PlayStation.
Yeah.
And I have the Souls games outside of Demon Souls on Xbox. But the only one I don't own physical currently is Sekiro, because I got it on PC.
Yeah.
So I do have a collection, mister, but I would like to refine it.
Nobody likes Xbox collecting.
Yeah, you've got
I do.
20,
it's cheaper.
You've got 27 Armored Core games, couple of hundred super small games from FromSoftware.
But the one that matters that we'll come up to.
There's almost none that are really that small. But anyways, let's jump into this. We're getting long on this already.
Yeah.
We haven't even began. So I guess we'll start the oldest. That's most notable, obviously, for us to talk about, which is the game that started it all, Kingsfield. So Kingsfield came out December 16th, 1994. And a lot of people just compare it to the Souls games because of the nature of it, being that it's super difficult, has a lot of that kind of, weird
interconnected world.
Yeah, and the story isn't really fully pushed to you. Like, you have to kind of look for it, search for the story. It is obviously a little different being that it's first person. But
yeah, I saw it as Tony Stark's dad telling him I'm limited by the technology of my time. Okay, I've got this great idea, but right now this is the best I could do. Because it really has all the little
it's PS1 Dark Souls.
Yeah,
it really is.
Sparks of everything. It's pretty funny.
So I would like to pick up these games, the ones that are the actual Dark Souls games that are kind of yeah, I don't know. Do you call them Dark Souls games? I don't know what you call them. But the ones that are the spiritual predecessors. I think it would be just cool to own them because of the roots. Because obviously, like we've mentioned, Armored Core, yes, it was made by FromSoftware, but it's got nothing to do with the Souls games.
Yeah, I mean, and I personally can care less about mechs. I know we got our friendly mech guy up there somewhere.
Yeah.
But
our mech boy.
But Brad and I are sitting here Armored Core. I've heard of it. What is it?
I probably would pick... I actually have them on my list from price charting for games to pick up on PS1, just because PS1 games I kind of collect mainly.
Yeah.
and because it's from software, I'm like, I pretty much gotta have them. There's not many, so yeah. Honestly, I know it's janky. But I think the graphics look pretty good. It's like
On
Yeah.
Kingsfield, I kind of love them.
yeah, I like it. I like it
I know
myself.
Bravo's seen them and about threw up, but
They really weren't that bad, especially for the time. You know, like there's other PlayStation games out there that are like you can't tell where the character ends and the environment begins, and this is better than that.
Yeah,
yeah.
I'd agree. I mean, other than that, really, so there is also Kingsfield 2. I don't know how
3,
these
4, 5, 6,
yeah,
7.
I don't know how these go on PS1. I don't know which ones are exclusive on like Japan and not.
So, from my understanding, Kingsfield 1 is a Japanese exclusive. 2 through 4 were all released in the US, but they were titled like 1, 2,
Gotcha.
3.
So, anyways, so based on just the PS1 games, I'll mention the price. I jotted down the prices because I thought it'd be kind of interesting because I don't know if you guys know, FromSoftware is pretty popular. So
Never heard of them.
yeah, they their prices be pretty high. So the first Kingsfield, if you're looking for that on PS1, complete in box, is on average about $100, and I'm guessing it's gonna go up with this game coming out. And then Kingsfield 2 is about $80 complete in box. So, and should I mention Ancient City since it's same franchise on PS2? Or are we going to talk about that individually?
I mean, we may as well just knock out all the Kingsfield at once.
All right, and then Kingsfield Ancient City on PS2 is $100 complete box as well. So, yeah. But the realistically, the games, they kind of all just kind of iterated. Obviously got a little bit better, more in depth, whatnot. But from what I know, I haven't really played them.
Yeah, I mean, the first 3 were released 94, 95, 96, so there's not too many improvements that could be made graphically or anything like that.
Just here's more. So, next game, I'm guessing Bravo's going to want to talk about Armored Core, which came out July 10th, 1997 was the initial release date.
So, while I was looking into these older FromSoftware games, I played a Armored Core game when I was a kid, and I know I played some of them in the arcade, but I cannot tell you for the life of me which one it was.
17.
And that kind of just kind of hits the nail on the head where it's just a mech game. Like the first game that came out is pretty basic, but like a solid game. Like everything that was in there was solid. They add more customization and various things like that over the next few years. And this is the era of games where a new game for whatever series you're talking about is released year after year, so like Kingsfield 94, 95, 96, 1, 2, 3, bam bam bam. Armored Core 97, Armored Core 2 probably 98, Armored Core, like it just keeps going. There might be like a 1 year gap between these games, but they generally just pump these suckers out. So there's not a whole lot of change between each individual games, but you skip a couple. You go from Armored Core 1 to 4, and it's got quite a bit more customization. And the thing that they implemented early on was the ability to load previous game saves on the most current game. So like you felt like you were continuing your playthrough, almost like an expansion, or an addition to the previous game. Pretty cool. They had a little bit of setbacks with some design changes that they made, but I mean I would say it's the money maker for FromSoftware, where like before the Souls games, they were just like, oh yeah, we need to make money this year. Here you go. This game pays all the bills every year, and also we do all this cool stuff over here. You know, like they just pump these things.
It is funny because it was like Armored Core is probably the least weird game that they make, and everything else is just out of complete left field. Like I mean everything literally, which I wouldn't say it's a bad thing. It is kind of cool that they've blown up the way they have for being a weirder, I guess you could call them weirder company. But then again, now they're probably mainstream. Everybody's trying to be like them.
Yeah.
Yeah, I tried to find it, but it's kind of personal, so I understand why I wouldn't find it. But I tried to find the structure of the company. You know, like, are they split into like little divisions where it's like, oh, here, this is the mech division. These guys only make mech games, and this is the Kingsfield and Souls guys, and like they just do their own thing. Like, you guys, you know, have to produce one game a year, so get to it. Or is it just like a big group of dudes that, you know, they work on one game until they get bored, and they work on another one. They just keep bouncing back and forth. Like, I would love to see what their business structure is like.
Yeah.
So what I'm hearing is we need to break in.
I don't know if you know, I'm pretty stealthy.
I think with Brad's game dev skills, I think he could just show FromSoftware like, hey, I'm
He's
pretty
like,
weird.
If you want to see something weird, let me show you weird.
And
I don't know. See these creatures right here?
Next Elden Ring 2, right here. This guy.
It's we're definitely. Oh my god, I'm almost embarrassed about how bad it is.
No, it's good, dude. It's hilarious.
I agree. Oh man, but let's move on.
Like,
let's
literally,
some juicy stuff.
We don't have to talk about Armored Core again. That was it. Like,
that's all the Armored Core.
There's like 18 games in the series, but there's the summary. There you go.
And there's like 4 new ones that'll be out in the next month.
Yeah. All right, so we will talk next about Shadow Tower, which is on PS1. So Shadow Tower, I would say, is probably the closest game that was to the Dark Souls, Demon Souls kind of style.
Yeah.
Being that it had that more
gritty.
The gritty,
dark,
almost horror elements to it, stuff. But it was essentially just Kingsfield with a darker tone.
Slightly darker too, not even much darker.
So it's interesting. I will tell you this. So I think they were going under a different name of Age Tech for a little bit, or I don't know if that was like their publisher or
that was
what.
Who published.
Okay, because Age Tech, I remember, because I'm just looking at the cover art of Shadow Tower and I see it and I'm like, Age Tech games were like always weird and they're like all expensive. It's just crazy. But same thing kind of, I mean, we talked about Kingsfield, but I do want to mention a little bit of the control scheme also. One thing that is tough that I think might be hard for people to translate is you look up and down with like the bumpers, or it's one of the either
it was
R1
the
R2 or and I think the other bumpers then would be like maybe strafing or something. I don't know.
Yeah, and on your point on that, just to get the timeline right, people had already shifted to stick controls, and or like it had already been developed. And if you go into this game and you shift through the different controls, it's like the 4th control scheme that you could actually change it to something that's more relatable to what we use today. So it was kind of goofy the way that they did it.
Another big feature of Shadow Tower was the weapons and armor deteriorating. That was the first we've seen that in a FromSoft game.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And then
fun fact, to upgrade and like repair them, you had to spend your health.
That sounds like, about right.
The first time we seen what were called soul points in a game, it was kind of unofficially experience. But yeah, there was definitely a lot of inspiration from this game put into the Souls series.
I have this on my PlayStation 3, like just the digital version of it. Because even though yes, you could emulate the game for free, I was like, for $5, it's on the PS3 with the actual controller and emulates a little bit better, whatever. And I've tried to play it a little bit. It's definitely clunky, but man, is it interesting. So I want to plug it in. Even though I've been here for a while now, I'm still getting things situated and settled, and I have to still get out. I only have the PS5 hooked up. That's it.
Oh, settled in your new house. Yeah.
Yeah, in the new house. Yeah, I gotta get all the old consoles out, laid out, plugged in, ready to roll. Probably blow a fuse. Old house not ready for it. Yeah, not ready for all this.
The only other thing I was going to mention was Shadow Tower has weird stats like what the Souls games has. So you don't necessarily know what mentality does or what these other weird stats
Even
do. And you're like, I don't know. What does this all do?
Strength actually is how likely you're to hit a target.
Yeah. It's not like damage, not health. It's your hit percent.
Just like Dark Souls, where luck literally does nothing. Yeah, it's just a dumb stat.
That's one thing I remember with the original Demon Souls specifically. I remember the manual being so useful.
Because you had no idea what was happening.
Yeah, I'm reading through. I'm like, what the heck does this mean? What am I even? Because the thing, even worse with those games, is it doesn't tell you what the stat is. It's just a little symbol that's like this big. it's like look at this symbol. What does that symbol mean? Good luck. Hopefully, you got Google next to you. We're not telling you.
It's beautiful, really.
Yeah, now that we're all used to it, it's a little bit better, but. I kind of like I like the stuff where you have to like kind of do a little research to a game, and I don't know. It's nice.
I'm a trial and error type guy.
It gets you involved a little bit more, I guess, like or invested into the game. Sometimes you're looking into it. I'm like, all right, planning it out. I want to build a strength build, something.
Yeah, I turn the internet off whenever Elden Ring comes out. Nothing's getting spoiled till I'm done.
I'm looking up the final boss. As soon as it comes on, I'm gonna come on and be like, Joe, let me tell you something.
Well, if I had to assume, the final boss is probably the chick with the helmet.
It's gonna be
because they typically like to do that.
It probably is.
Like,
perhaps.
This is big bad. But let's keep skimming through here.
Yeah,
we knocked out like their first 5 releases, but we're not gonna go through each release.
Yeah, those are realistically those are kind of the big ones. And we're doing them in the it's more of the whole series. So we already done all the Armored Core games, and also going out with that Shadow Tower is one of the most expensive games on the list.
What?
Shadow Tower for PlayStation 1 is $300 complete box.
Did you look up Abyss?
Abyss is a Japanese only game, so.
Yeah,
It'll probably be cheaper.
Wow. It'll be cheaper, but I only looked up the ones that we can get in North America.
Okay, fair
my guess is it's probably like $80 to $100.
Yeah,
somewhere around there.
Even then, might be highballing it realistically.
Yeah, it's hard to judge those. So we can go. Let's see, what do we have next? Actually, the next one we'll talk about the Echo Knight games real quickly because that's on PS1 as well. But there's a PS2 game. So Echo Knight is a horror game, actually. So right up my wheelhouse. And the game is more along the lines of like the Amnesia and Outlast, where there's not a lot of action.
It's a walking simulator.
Yeah, more of like adventure style stuff. With a creepy atmosphere. It's okay.
They're fun if you like those type of games, which I enjoyed Outlast.
Yeah, Outlast was fun the one time I played through. Probably wouldn't play it again.
Yeah, it's definitely not worth playing through a second time. And I started Outlast 2, never finished it.
Yeah, that's
it was
actually the same
just
for me.
More of the same thing.
But Same thing. Just I think them kind of experimenting, trying out different styles, different games, and whatnot. And
They were definitely a company who just threw noodles at the wall to see what sticked.
yeah, not many of them stuck.
No.
Until not many stuck until later on in Armored Core.
It's funny seeing like these games. So like Kingsfield didn't receive great reviews, and they're still like, we're pumping out 4 of them. I don't care. And nowadays, it's like a game doesn't meet X amount of profit. People are just like, all right, throw it in the bin. On to the next thing.
Back in the day, I think it's different because it's like, okay, we have the framework of the game.
Yeah.
Now it probably took them 6 months to make Kingsfield 2. You know, they probably had 3 of them done within a year, and they just were like, all right, we're just
Space
one
them
a
out
year. Yeah. All right, we got basically probably had 6 games done within 1 year. 3 Armored Core games, 3 Kingsfield games, and so. But also with the Echo Knight games, pretty expensive because they're FromSoftware horror games. So they hit 2 categories of niche.
Expensive.
So yeah, the Echo Knight game on PS1 is $197 complete in box, and Echo Knight Beyond on PS2 is $260 complete in box.
Jesus.
So these are the 2 games that are in my horror collection that I'm missing these. As you can tell, the reason why.
I'd hope.
Yep, there's a reason why I'm missing them because they're up there. Echo Knight Beyond is actually the cheapest game that I have left to get on PS2.
Wow.
I have 4 left, and Echo Knight Beyond is the cheapest one out of the 4.
Oof.
And spoilers for coming up, there's another one on this list that's more expensive. So yeah, we won't talk too much about the Echo Knight stuff. There was an Echo Knight 2 that was on PlayStation 1 that was Japanese only. They had another game that was kind of real quickly similar to the Kingsfield and Shadow Tower, which was called Eternal Ring, but it was different at the same time. A little more fantasy is on PS2. If you want to try it out, it's on PS4 with updated controls actually too. It's kind of nice.
Yeah, that's actually one I have. I actually put it onto my buy list because I want to check that out personally.
Yeah. So, yeah, that's pretty much all I'm going to say about that. But we'll go into the next little gem that Joe got real excited about learning during this research, which is The Adventures of Cookie and Cream. So,
this game is dope.
Yeah.
I want this game so bad.
Game's on PS2.
I never had a PS2, so I never even knew this existed until I did research for this. And a game that you play with half a controller. So each person is playing with their own half. And
Weird.
it's just like a little time race thing. And you're like these 2 little rabbits, bunnies, whatever you want to call them. Super weird, but super cool. And it looks so much fun. It's like teamwork oriented. It is basically It Takes Two, but released in like 2001.
Yeah.
2000.
It's
Platformer type game. It's just so weird.
especially compared to what they normally make, which is like dark fantasy, I would say is their norm, right? Like,
Yeah.
yes,
Just like bunnies
yeah, it's
with
like
a pot on their head.
So yeah, it's definitely a cute game and real obscure. I didn't realize for the long. I knew about the game, but I didn't know it was them. So, and just to let you guys know, it's probably the cheapest game that they have out there at $20. So not bad at all.
Also, just to keep on theme, in North America, published by H-Tech.
I'm telling you, H-Tech.
Also, if you have a DS, they ported it to DS in 2007. It's called just Cookies. It's called Cookies and Cream.
Oh.
Yeah.
I might have to look that up.
Yeah.
I think I'd rather have it on DS for me.
Did they still split the controller?
That's the real question.
I have no idea.
Because with those tiny screens, you're like head to head with somebody trying to look.
My big forehead, got like a caveman forehead. I don't know. I'd be smacking somebody out of the
I got my
view.
dog over here snoring. If anybody hears it.
Yeah, it's all good.
I'm sorry.
No, you good?
So we'll move on. Another one that I will just do a quick mention of are the 2 Xbox exclusive games that are Otage Myth of Demons and Otage 2 Immortal Warriors. Those are actually very expensive games that I did not realize were made by FromSoft.
Yeah,
So,
just typical Japanese hack and slash.
Yep, yeah, but I just want to mention them because I did at one point collect Xbox games, and I remember seeing them, and I'm like, holy crap, these games are expensive for...
I may have one of these.
They're interesting. And another one, too, that I would love to get is Lost Kingdoms on Gamecube. I haven't done a lot of research about it. I just know that I was watching gameplay of it, and it looked really cool.
Yeah, I've seen this one. I think a friend of mine may have it, but the game is really cool looking. It's definitely one I want to pick up.
Yeah,
but until I see the price point.
I'm pretty sure it's on the high end, as usual.
Yeah.
So, moving forward here, we're going on to the game that I was talking about, which is Kuan on PlayStation 2.
Kuan.
So, it came out in, when did it come out? 2004 or something? It looks like it came out, December 7th, 2004 for us. And this is actually a interesting horror game in that it's like a more melee-centric Resident Evil with the fixed camera angles and whatnot. Very much Resident Evil style clone, and kind of somewhat like the Ring universe, I guess you could say, is the theme of it. So I don't know exactly how to, but if you look it up, you'll see what I mean. Looks like the Ring. And the wild thing is, this is the most expensive game on the PS2. I think it's the number one most expensive game on PS2, but it's the number one for horror games, and it is $740.
My goodness.
The cover art's so cool.
Yeah,
they did a good job with the cover art. It's like a little girl or something, like real ominously, like looking at a mirror or something.
This is one of the things to me,
and it has such a bad ratings.
Yeah, I guess the game's decent actually. But you gotta remember, back in the day, a lot of people didn't appreciate some of the quirky, unique players. Like, they wanted Resident Evil, they wanted Silent Hill. It wasn't one of those. They were like, nope. You tried it. You were steering too far off the path, and we don't like this. So for nowadays, I mean, if you go, the weirder you are, the better it is. It seems.
Yeah, the more niche categories to become more popular.
But
so
I was gonna just say, the only thing I was gonna say is a lot of these games, the Kingsfield ones, Shadow Tower, Echo Knight, Kuan, and stuff, with how expensive they are, it'd be nice to maybe see like a Kingsfield collection for PlayStation 5 or something, just like, or like a history of them, and they could like put a bunch of these games.
FromSoft collection, how they did Rare Replay. Do a FromSoft replay.
It'd be so cool because, one, it would give fans the ability to play some of these on modern consoles at a reasonable price instead of dropping $300.
$700.
Yeah, $700 on Kuan. I mean, come on, it's ridiculous.
Or does FromSoftware just like publicly, they're like, yeah, we started developing games with Demon Souls, and
we're releasing this new game. It's called Kuan.
What I was gonna say is, Kuan came out in 2004. They released 4 mech games in 2004.
Yep.
Three Armored Core games and a Metal Wolf Chaos game, which is just Armored Core with a different skin.
Pretty sure Metal Wolf Chaos, you play as the president. Just to let you know. I'm almost positive.
Fictional president of the United States, Michael Wilson, piloting a mech battle.
How does that make you feel? Isn't that amazing?
So powerful. Lead from the front. Man. That's what that says.
They ain't my president unless they got themselves a mech suit.
good old metal. FromSoftware, they love them Armored Core games. They love the mech games. Gotta give them that. So, real quickly, I guess we'll move on. Enchanted Arms is a game I'm sure people have heard of. And they released more Armored Core and They released actually a Kingsfield games on PlayStation Portable that I don't know anything about. But
Yeah, that
Kingsfield
interested
additional.
they're on there.
I didn't really understand what was going on with that, but that's something that I want to look into. Because if they're not available on the PSP, they're probably available on the Vita.
Yeah, they probably are. So more Armored Core, and then we get to the game before Demon Souls,
Oh boy.
which I actually owned and played a little bit, and it was so bad I sold it.
It's so bad I gave it away.
Yeah, it was a Ninja Blade for the Xbox 360. So, yeah, I think they were trying to
Make a playable movie, essentially.
Yeah, and
It was all just like those quick time events and
I don't know exactly what they were going for. It was very like I think they were trying to do the over the top action and like all right, we're gonna do like a Ninja Gaiden style game or something, and it just didn't work. It wasn't fun. I don't know. I guess for
somehow
me,
this
like,
game still got rated like between a 6.5 to a 7 out of 10.
Yeah.
So GameSpot gave this an award in 2009 for being nominated for best game no one played.
Oh,
So a little bit of a taste of the reception.
See,
they're
I
calling
remember,
it good though, and
So I was trying to pick up at the time. Like this is the reason why I picked it up. I didn't even know it was FromSoftware until I actually was holding the copy. And I was going through and I was like, all right, what are the 360 exclusive games that are like relatively cheap? This one was like, I think this one's like $15 and under.
they're like, please take this
I will
game.
pay you.
Yeah. Wait, I think I actually picked it up for under $10, honestly. Picked it up and I was playing. It just, those 360 games, honestly, every 360 game looks pretty good.
Yeah.
Like PS3, 360, it's like, unless it's like Saw or Man vs. Wild or something. It looks pretty good, right?
As long as it's not a game after a movie.
Yeah. So it looked decent. Controls were okay. It was just mediocre. Just the most mediocre game I played, and I was like, a lot more things I could be spending my time with, so let's just move on. Essentially what happened.
Yeah, it's basically the game is just all quick time events. Like it doesn't even look entertaining.
Yeah.
Like the worlds seem pretty generic. I don't know. It just doesn't have anything really going for it.
Yeah, I never knew this game existed, and I looked up some YouTube videos, and I don't think I found a single one that was like, good game. It was just a bunch of guys like, all right,
Great one.
so the developers of Dark Souls. Well,
They did this.
But
the meat and
might
potatoes.
we might as well move to the big ones because this is where we're going to start actually putting in some time. First game released for the Souls games was Demon Souls on the PS3. The actual release for it was October 6th, 2009.
For North America.
For
It
North
was released
America,
a bit earlier in Japan.
Everything's always released a bit earlier in Japan.
Well,
It's
all the
Japan.
Japanese games were released a bit earlier in Japan.
Exactly. So, this was the game that started it, and it took me forever to beat this game. I'm gonna be honest. I played a strength build, and I don't even know what it was. No idea what the sword was. If I saw it in the game, I could tell you. It was just this gigantic two-handed sword that took forever to swing. And I smashed the crap out of people. It basically was, can I kill them before they kill me? Because there was no agility. There's no blocking. There's nothing. I was terrible.
So, kind of a side note, But something we forgot that FromSoft is basically known for is, especially in the new Souls games, the Moonlight Greatsword, which made its first appearance, I believe, in the first Kingsfield, if I'm not mistaken.
Yep.
It may be yeah. But essentially, it's like their iconic weapon. It's been in Armored Core games. It's been in all of the Souls games at this point, pretty much. And it's just like randomly placed throughout all of their different titles. But just talking about Demon Souls and Brad with his big sword made me think of it, and I felt like we skipped over that.
Yeah, I'm literally looking in the Wikipedia right now, trying to find what sword I was using. I think it was it. I don't think it was the what the hell is it called? The Dragon Bone Smasher. Which is like this giant one. It wasn't that because it says it requires a pure white world tendency, and I definitely didn't have that. There wasn't a prayer I had that. I'll tell you right now, I didn't have that. So I'm thinking it was more along the lines of like
probably just some basic great sword.
Yeah, maybe just like some, I don't know, Flameberg or something.
While he's researching, this game, whenever it was first being developed, it was essentially failing in development. They couldn't like keep a coherent line for it. But this is where we finally got our boy Miyazaki to step up and take the reins, and he was able to, kind of straight line it as much as you want to say straight line it for a Souls game, because they're a bit out there. But yeah, he took over the head of development, and he straightened it out and made what we know as Demon Souls today.
Yeah.
And thank you, sir.
Yeah, man. Talk about. Also, just want to say I don't know why, to me, the most iconic intro music and intro cinematic in general is Demon Souls to me.
It's so good.
I don't know what it is. It just that lady singing in the background, and the guys come in, and
it's so good.
The dragon flying over the little fight scene and stuff, and you're
so good.
It's amazing, absolutely amazing.
I never played the PS3 version, but obviously I bought the PS5 simply to play this game because I never got to play it.
Yeah, talking about this, I'm about to put this game in right now.
Oh, it's so good. I still haven't beat it. I still haven't beat it. So I'm like right before the final boss. I already know what the final boss is in Demon Souls, but for anybody who hasn't got a PS5 yet and hasn't played this, we won't spoil anything. But I literally got to the fog gate and I just turned it off. I was like, I can't put an end to Souls. Like, I'll just never finish it because that's the last boss I have for any Souls game.
It is 100% worth a PS5 though, in my opinion.
It sold the console for me, and that's basically all I've played.
Because now that Elden Ring is going to be out within a week, I would say
now you got
these two games. Now you have two games that are 100% worth it, and then obviously there's more. Horizon just came out, so if you're into that game,
we're gonna get God of War, but PS5 is.
So
it's paid for itself with Demon Souls for me. Like the amount of time I put into that.
Oh yeah,
and it's the best looking game I've seen. Period.
Yeah,
it's insane. It's
really good.
So, when you're picking your class, what are we usually going with? We have like a default that you guys pick.
I know Brad picks mage, so he doesn't have to play.
No. That was this one time. I always pick every single time. I pick the knight every time because the knight is the guy in that cinematic.
The intended class.
I feel like I had to pick him, so I've always picked him every single game. Whatever the closest character to a knight is what I always pick in every game. And then, as Joe was breaking my balls about, I've never played anything with magic. I've never even used like a magic buff in a game or anything. So I was like, I'm gonna try this out, and it's real easy. Game's real easy.
Yeah, it's. I've played Magic, and I've played at least one round of Magic through each Souls game, and it's just I don't have fun. It's.
Yeah, I try. I've started it off several times in several of the games where I'm like, I'm gonna do Magic this time, and I just like.
Next thing you know, here you go, just dodge rolling with a greatsword.
I'm kind of hoping, which, don't make fun of me because I really haven't played it much. I'm hoping that the bow and arrow gameplay is pretty good
for
Elden Ring, obviously.
It's supposed to be viable for a whole playthrough, but it's technically viable in all of them, so I don't have high hopes.
That's my thing is like when you play with the bow and arrow in these games, it's always like
you're playing to torture yourself.
Yeah, I'd rather not. Like, I don't know. So I'm hoping they do something with it.
Yeah,
mix it up a little bit.
To answer your question about class, I started off going with the scimitar class. I think it's called a wanderer.
Yep.
And then even in Dark Souls, there's another class with the scimitar. But that's just what I picked. I was like, this is what I do. And that, obviously before I understood how stuff scaled, so I pretty much like had the same weapon throughout the game. And I liked the heavy attack animation in Dark Souls. I don't remember if it was in Demon Souls, but you essentially like step forward slash, and then if you hold it, he'll like do like this like backflip somersault thing and like slash backwards. I was like, this is really cool. So that's just what I did.
Mm-hmm.
Now these days, I just use big sword.
After my own heart.
So I want to say I'm the opposite, but it's not really the opposite. I'm just a dex build kind of guy. I like to, curve swords, particular the Uchigatana, and roll a lot. And after playing Sekiro, I learned how to parry, so we parry now too.
Let me tell you, when I first played Demon Souls, fat rolling all day, baby. Fat rolling like you've never seen before. Couldn't get out of my own way.
I really love the world building they do in Demon Souls, and it's really interesting how they use like the stones to separate the worlds.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
But some of them, like the desert world, and particularly on the PS5 version, I literally just stood there and looked at the rocks for like 20 minutes because I was like, a game is not supposed to look like this. Like,
it's definitely insane. Which I don't know why I feel like the first area is always proletarian place. Like there's something about it that I'm a big fan of. And I'll be honest, I also really like the Hall of Latria, I believe it's called. It's the third world, the one that's like in the prison or whatever.
I hate that world.
Oh God, yeah.
So it's a tough world, but I don't know why I really like it. It's tough and not the one little octopus face thing.
Dude, those things are the bane of my existence.
That thing
they just
sucks.
one-shot you.
Yep. They freeze you and they're like, about to suck your face, boy. Look at me. And that's it. They give you a little smoochums and then you're dead. That's the whole game.
Yeah, it's miserable.
Oh man,
that was my least favorite part.
We should probably try to move on a little bit.
Yeah.
Yeah, probably.
Real quickly, we'll talk about a couple bosses, I guess. So I guess the first one I'll talk about is the old monk, actually. And I think he's interesting just because in the game it's actually another player. Like unless you disconnect your game from having a network connection, you literally play against another
summon.
Yeah.
I thought it was really cool too, but whenever I played through it, apparently nobody was playing. I played against a bot. But I was online, and I was like, is this a real person? It wasn't a real person. Or they were really bad.
One or two.
But it was the easiest boss in the game to me.
Yeah, if they're a bot, it's usually pretty easy. If it's a person, usually you're having some rough times here.
Yeah. I am a fan of the Tower Knight.
The Tower Knight is amazing.
That's
one
like
of my favorites.
the poster boy of Demon Souls.
I never knew that the monk was supposed to be another person.
Yeah,
Bro was getting mind boggled over here.
Yeah, it's all good. It's honestly, I never knew it until I was like watching YouTube videos in the game, like years later after I already beat the game.
Yeah,
and I was like,
It's also really cool how I'd say it's really cool, but people who aren't like familiar with the series, they probably despise it. How you're supposed to go through like X amount of one archstone and then go to the next, and then next, and like bounce back and forth. I like how that is, so you like don't get too comfortable in one area or like too used to the scenery in one area, so you keep switching it up.
I
thought
I
that was
like
really
it
cool.
because I think what I like is, except for I think the first world is the only one where they physically stop you from doing it.
Yeah. Because you need to get some.
Yeah. So I like the idea that it's like, hey, if you're good enough,
Keep going, have
keep
fun.
going. You know,
fun.
if you want to go ahead, but you shouldn't go here.
The only one I tried to go through too fast was the Shrine of Storms, and I got wrecked by the flying stingrays.
I always do the second world too much. Whatever the desert one.
Tunnel. Yeah.
And that, I don't know why. The boss that literally gives me the most trouble every time is that stupid spider. Every time. That's
the Flame Lurker was my weak
freaking
point, because that's like
spider.
the difficulty curve. I had a little bit of trouble with him at first,
Flame
mostly
Lurker-
because like hitboxes were weird in my opinion.
So the Flame Lurker is considered, I think, the hardest boss in the game.
Yeah.
So it's not too surprising.
I'd say the fake version of the final boss was the hardest in my opinion.
But the only other person I want to mention, the boss wise, is just the Dragon God.
Yes, he's so cool in the new one. It's the
so
coolest
cool-looking.
dragon I've seen.
By far.
The worst boss fight possible for him, but the coolest boss.
Even if you're never planning on playing the game, just look up a little playthrough, I guess, of the game. Look up he just looks real cool. That's all. He's a cool dragon. That's all there is. So, anyways, anybody want to mention any other bosses?
We need to roll.
You did a lovely job.
All right, so as I said, Demon Souls is my favorite, so that's the one I was gonna spend the most time on. So I know Dark Souls is gonna have a lot of love too, and then after that, I'm gonna start going downhill
I'm gonna start going uphill.
Yeah. Demon Souls is the one I played by far the most. So now we're going on to Dark Souls, which is the game that really brought the game to light, because it went to every console instead of just PS3.
Yeah.
So I would definitely recommend, if you're going to play it, play one of the 60 FPS versions. Don't play, 360 PS3, stuff like that. Just my own opinion.
Also, you can't play online currently, which is kind of crappy, but
you can play online if
No.
you're not playing on Steam, though, right?
no.
No,
I
it's
don't think
shut
so.
off.
Yeah, they
I thought it was
completely closed it until after Elden Ring.
I gotcha. I thought that was just for Steam ones for whatever reason. But anyways.
Oh, we skipped over one, but it's fine.
We did?
Yeah, the Shadow Tower Abyss. We didn't talk about that.
There was a reason.
Yeah.
Oh, well, we mentioned just the Shadow Tower games in
Yeah.
general. If you want to give something quick about it.
All right, so Shadow Tower Abyss was the follow-up after Shadow Tower, and they were just like, this game is a fantasy game, but you get assault rifles and missile launchers. So just like another little example of them being goofballs. You like start the game off with fantasy-like weapons and very, very limited ammunition in your handgun, and over time, it just becomes a first-person shooter in a fantasy world, which is hilarious, and it has horrible reviews. So that's all.
I want to actually watch some gameplay of it or something, because it sounds kind of cool. Obviously,
I'll drop you a link. I found a guy that went over it pretty well.
All right, cool. Yeah. and it was Japanese only release, which is I think one of the reasons why maybe we skimmed over it.
Yeah.
But yeah, back to
My
Dark
bad.
Souls.
Rest of the pride and joy.
Okay,
Yeah,
so
so-
Dark Souls 1 comes out, and then they release 4 more mech games, and then Dark Souls 2 comes out
5 more
in,
mech games.
in 2014. Like, looking at this timeline as we go through, I'm like, oh my gosh, like, this is really recent. Like, this is, like, kind of like moving so fast, you know? It feels like these games have been a part of my life for the majority, but it's the minority actually. Like
Well, I
it's
think
it's pretty cool.
I think the most interesting thing about it is that it's literally its own genre now. Like
Yeah. It's
that to me is how you know like your game is ginormous. You know, like
Mhm.
Metroidvania.
part of it that's
No,
like,
sorry.
yeah, when a game has like the title and the genre it makes, it's like, oh, it's
Exactly.
It's good.
Insane. It's just insane to think about that. Dark Souls is because I remember when I was like Demon Souls, I was like, I'm that weird kid that likes this weird game that nobody knows about. I literally felt like I was that because I wasn't really going online talking to people about stuff. I was, I went to school, I would show it to some of my friends, and none of them could get past like the tutorial because they were like, I have no grasp of how the game works. Like, it wasn't clicking with them. It's just a lot different, a lot slower, methodical gameplay. Yeah, well,
yeah.
some people. Not, I'm slow. Goes fast.
Mm-hmm.
So, anyways, so Demon Souls, while it was, obviously, I still think everybody thinks it's a good game. Dark Souls is like on just another level for most people.
Dark Souls is just Demon Souls on steroids.
Yeah, and I think part of what makes Dark Souls loved so much is that the world is all connected.
Yeah,
You're
it's
not, you're not going like you don't have a hub world.
the
you're not going-
Archstones,
Yeah,
less
which,
load screens.
which is cool. I did like the Archstones and whatnot, but there is something cooler about.
It feels like the world's
Travel.
living.
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly.
Yeah, I have like mental scars. They're so prominent in my memory of the first time you do your first loop, right? Like the first time you think the game is linear, right? Like you're moving through this castle, you're doing this thing, you're fighting creatures, and then you use an elevator and you come back up and your mind goes from this long corridor tunnel
To, like,
vision
this
type
tiny
game to this,
circle.
it just wraps around and like does this corkscrew thing, and you're like, oh my gosh, like this is so cool. I'm actually here. I thought I was like, way the heck over here. I took too many left turns, like what's going on? And like that is just I just absolutely love that part of the game and the way that they implement that.
Oh yeah.
So cool.
I would say game design aspect, like creating that, like having to sit down and actually create it. It's insane to think about.
Yeah.
Just insane.
Going back to your point about being the weird kid that played Dark Souls or Demon Souls, Brad. Funnily enough, the weird kid from the football team in high school was like, "Hey, you getting Dark Souls?" I'm like, "Getting what?" He's like, "Dark Souls. It just came out yesterday." He's like, "It's real good." I'm like, I've never even heard of it. I thought, and like I was thinking at the time, Darkness 2 or 3, whatever, was relatively new, and I'm like, "Oh yeah, Darkness. I know what you're talking about. It looks pretty interesting." He's like, "It's so good, get it." And so my mom went out and she was like, "Do you need anything from the store?" And I was like, "Oh yeah, here's money. Get me Dark Souls. I heard it's real good." And she's like, "Okay," and comes home with it. And I look at it, I'm like, "What? What's this?" And so I put it in and played it, and I was like, maybe an hour deep. Got through like the tutorial, got to Firelink Shrine. Naturally, I went the wrong way and went to the catacombs and quit the game after 50 deaths and put it on a shelf for like X amount of months. And finally, my dad and I were looking for something to play. He's like, "What's this game? This looks cool." And I'm like, "Oh, that game's dumb. We don't want to play it. It doesn't make any sense." He's like, "No, come on, we'll play it." And all right, this ain't gonna be long. We'll be down here again picking another one. And that's where the love was born. We were like, oh, what happens if we go up here? Oh, it's not ridiculously hard.
It's so I still have trouble with the game. I'm not amazing at these games, as I've said. So for me, I actually haven't beaten any Dark Souls game other than Demon Souls. I haven't beaten anyone. I've played all of them, a good amount, a lot.
There's nothing. I
That
think
hurts.
there's nothing wrong with that, brother.
Yeah,
No, there's quite a bit wrong with that.
it's quite a bit wrong with it, but
We're adults, you know. We do what we can.
So-
Play what we want.
yeah. So
It's been 11 years.
It's been 11 years.
I think you watched me last play it, and it was when I was streaming it.
Mhm.
And
It's
honestly,
been 11 years, Brad. You tell me you haven't had the time to beat this game in 11 years?
Nope.
New games
had
come
it.
out, and he plays those a little bit, and like another new game comes out.
Like I said, I suck at these games, so
It
it
hurts
takes me a long time.
Brad, you look at me in the eyeballs, okay? It doesn't matter if you enjoy the first.
Brad,
little
don't listen
area,
to a word he says.
if you enjoy
He's
that,
giving
that's
you-
fine.
He's like the devil on the shoulder. Let me be the angel.
You want to spend $60 on a game and play
Listen,
not a lot of
I've-
it? That's fine.
Oh no, I've put a lot of hours in the game. Don't get me wrong. It's just
Okay.
I've beaten
Just not beating it, yeah.
But
So-
talking more about the game itself, we've already talked about the classes we liked. Some of our favorite bosses.
Yeah. I got two of my least favorite bosses. How about that? You want to hear those?
Let's do it.
All
Yeah,
right.
go for it.
All right. So number one, let me tell you, the first dude to put a spanking on me back in when did this game come out again? 2009 or something like that.
11.
Okay. So came out 2011. Brad just graduated high school. Playing through, and then all of a sudden I get to the old Capra demon.
Oh, the boy.
And that boy took me 3 days to beat. It was pretty bad. And but so you know how early this is playing through Dark Souls, and you get to the Capra demon. Okay. So between the Bell Gargoyles and the Capra demon, that was easily a
Brad
2
was
week adventure.
mentally tapped out already.
Mentally drained. I had to walk away, and I had to go start a new career somewhere, do something. It was brutal. So those two bosses, the Bell Gargoyles, and because I was like, oh man, I almost got the first one, and then the second one came around, and it just started doing the old flamethrower breath on me. And
Yeah.
I hated my life, and I was too bad to do anything about it. So because I was fat rolling everywhere still. So yeah, those two are horrible. And then when I got better, it's Ornstein and Smug.
So,
As your least favorite or your?
Those are my least favorite ones.
so who's the favorite?
My favorite, honestly, I don't know. I think just because of the first being the first guy, the Tauros demon, I kind of like him just because he's the first dude, and it's like I don't know why. The first guys always are very recognizable to me.
Yeah, because you play through them 50 times.
Yeah, you play through like the Phalanx. It's like I'm gonna start a
I
new
hate
class.
the Phalanx and Demons.
I don't like
It's
the
my
Phalanx.
least favorite.
I don't like the Phalanx, but it's like very recognizable to me. It's like embedded into my brain. And I do like the Bell Gargoyles, but I hate them at the same time.
Yeah,
Like one of those.
So my favorite boss in Dark Souls is without a doubt Artorias, both like lore wise and design wise.
Mm.
He's just so he's so cool as a character, and Would you stop it, Nick? They don't want to hear you.
He wants attention. Come on.
He wants to bark at the neighbors getting out of their car. But my favorite thing is Artorias' little pocket sand, where he just throws dirt in your eyes. But yeah, that's it for me. Bravo.
Forgive me, I'm terrible with names. But I will say the Capra Demon is one of my favorites. Even though he doesn't play like a huge role or whatever, I like the design, and I like how you're just like running through the city, gonna do a thing, and he's just like, "Welcome to my alley. You're gonna die now."
He's like a little thug in the back alley.
Yeah. He's got his two dogs, and he would jump poor little Brad every time. Couldn't do anything. I'd cheese the crap out of him. He'd still kick my ass.
The sewer dragon, like the
Gaping
nasty,
dragon.
the gaping dragon, probably my favorite.
Teeth?
God dang it. Oh, what a movie. Yeah, the gaping dragon, because it's just so freaking weird, dude. Like, the way that it introduces it and the way that you have to fight it, like, it's got decent mechanics, but it's not, like, super hard. It's just such a cool character. Like, obviously, I'm going to lean more towards, like the way they look and, like, maybe the lore behind them rather than, like, game mechanics, because some things are just, like cheesy game mechanics that are, like, okay, whatever, you know?
My favorite part about the Gaping Dragon was we had a friend who just played through Dark Souls like within the last 2 months for the first time. And he got to the Gaping Dragon and he's like, gets into the boss room and he's like, you know, it pokes its little head up. And he's like, oh, that's it? It's so cute. And then like more comes up and he's like, oh. It just goes from like, it's so cute to like, what in the expletive is that?
Mm-hmm.
And it was hilarious. And it's like the same reaction everybody has when they first seen it who didn't know about it.
So cool. And I think my least favorite in Dark Souls is the brother fire demon.
I know what one you're talking about.
The big
I
guy.
can't think of his name.
Yeah, the brother that's the brother to the sisters. So like
the queen, the brother of the Isla sisters.
Yeah,
Ceaseless Discharge.
Yeah, what a weird name, but that guy, it's one of those fights where you're just like, okay, well.
If I had to pick a least favorite, it'd probably be Gwendolyn. It's just tedious more than anything. Or Sif, because it hurts me emotionally.
Yeah.
So, yeah, but I'd say Dark Souls 1, definitely one of the more memorable ones for me. Do you have anything else we want to mention with it? Or
not really. The first time going into Honor Londo, bone apple tea.
Yeah,
you
and
go through all this like dark, gritty game, and you like just go up and you're like, oh my god, it's so pretty.
Mm-hmm. It's probably one of my favorite areas.
I wish we got more of it. I really wish we got more of it.
Which, a little fast forward, when you played Dark Souls 3, I recently just beat it, and you come across Anne Orlando, and I was like, hold up.
I remember Bravo he was playing through it, and I asked him, I was like, where are you at? He goes, oh, I just come out of the catacombs or something. I'm like, oh, how far are you? He goes, yeah, I'm in the town. I'm like, you see anything noticeable yet? He's like, no, I don't think so. What do you mean? And I'm like, yeah, you'll know. Mm-hmm. And then like a few hours later, he goes, oh my god.
Oh! Yeah. You take the way that I went, if there's a different way, I don't know, but you take one of those spiral staircases.
Yep.
And as I was going up the spiral staircase, I was like, this is really similar to the other game, you know? And like, sure enough, you get to the top and you're like, oh! Yeah.
But that's Dark Souls 3. Let's move on to number
Dark
2.
Souls 2. So this is my least favorite Dark Souls.
It's
I
the worst Dark Souls.
think everybody kind of feels this way.
It's my most played Dark Souls, but it's the worst Dark Souls.
Yeah. So for me, here's the thing. I really hate the intro.
The intro sucks.
I don't like the intro at all. Like it, and I feel like that's something that a game needs to nail just overall. Like doesn't matter what the game is. So when we were talking about like The Last of Us Part 2, right? The issue isn't so much that The Last of Us Part 2 is not a good game or anything, but if you play through it once, and it can go with almost any game in general. When you play through a game and you're like playing the intro and there's no action or something, it's just kind of dragging and yeah, and whatever.
It's character building, I get it, but
yeah,
let
but
me
it's
play
like
the game.
I want to get to the action. Like I want to play it. And
I want to play
for whatever
like
reason,
Dark Souls intro where you get a sword and you're like, oh, it's time to go.
Exactly. So, and for whatever reason, it's just Dark Souls 2 just did not nail the intros that Demon Souls and Dark Souls 1 I felt had.
Yeah, it's without a doubt that you run into that issue. And I personally feel like if we flip Dark Souls 2 with Dark Souls 1, Dark Souls dies immediately. It's just a flop. But because it had a Dark Souls name, I feel like it became a success. The game's not awful.
Yeah, so this is by far the least one I've played, as I said. And it's just I don't know much about it. I know that Joe like literally speedran the game.
Yeah, I speedran it for a few months. I mean, I didn't have like a world record time or anything, but I had a fairly decent time. I was beating it in like 2 hours, 2.5 hours roughly. But there's some cool parts of the game. Like I really liked No Man's Wharf. It was a cool area, but there were only a few really like unique areas that felt like Dragon Airy was another one that was really cool. The bosses a lot of times though, like I don't want to say weren't hard, but they were kind of just like instead of making it harder, we're just gonna throw multiple of them at you. Like the Flexile Sentries. It's like, oh, this guy's by himself, he's pretty cool. You know, he could be a cool fight.
Yep.
He could have turned into like what the Dancer from Dark Souls 3 is.
Oh, yeah.
And then it's like, oh, now there's 2, now there's 3, now there's 4. Like, okay. And that happens like a few times throughout the game where you fight in multiple. And then there's a lot of like gimmick fights like the Pursuer and I don't know.
I remember actually the Pursuer is somebody who whooped on me pretty good. I remember specifically.
Yeah.
But like I'm honestly looking at it and like I said, this is by far the least I played out of any of them. And it's like some of them look familiar, but they don't look that familiar or recognizable for me. Like the only one that's really recognizable is The Last Giant for me right now.
Yeah.
Which is kind of sad.
I'm the same boat as you. I never owned it myself. I only played it at a friend's house, which I played at their house a lot. Mm-hmm. But I don't remember a whole lot of the game, and I planned on going through it, but I got kind of sidetracked with Sakiro and other games to fill my time. But I do want to play through it now that I have it on the PC. But it's just like not super memorable to me, but I do remember a lot of the game being gimmicky or unfair, which is, you know, it comes with a grain of salt for a Souls game, but I just felt cheated in certain instances where it's like, wow, like the previous game was more polished than this, or was more rigid in how the interactions happened, and it just felt like it went backwards and like made it hard for no reason. I don't know. It's weird.
Yeah, like for the bosses, like a lot of them are like kind of repeat bosses. So there were some really cool ones like the Lost Sinner and some other ones, but then there's like another gargoyle boss, and then there's like the Royal Rat Vanguard, which is just it's basically the giant rat from Dark Souls 1. The giant rat's probably harder. Then there's like Scorpioness Najka, which is literally Kayag, but a scorpion. And it's I don't know.
Yeah. But I will say that the world and the creatures, because I looked into it obviously for this episode, beyond what my personal knowledge is, I really think that the world is cool. Like, it's weird. It's got some like fantasy tropes that I appreciate. It's got a heavy emphasis on like giants and stuff, which are pretty cool to me. Giants and dragons and Dark Souls kind of go hand in hand. Pretty cool. I don't know.
Yeah, and to be fair, like some of the DLC bosses are really cool. Like I really liked Alana and the Smelter Demon,
Lana.
the Fume Knight. Like there's some really cool ones, the Ivory King, that are mixed into the DLC. It's just a shame that the base game wasn't a little bit better in terms of bosses. Like even Nashandra, the final boss, she's just kind of like meh. Whereas like Gwen is from the first one, you're like, whoa, I just fought Gwen, like a god basically. And this one, it's just kind of like, oh, it's Nashandra. She just.
I don't know. Squad. I don't know why right now, off the top of my head, I can't remember the Dark Souls 2 town name. As soon as I hear it, I'm gonna know it.
You guys talking about like the base area?
Yeah, base area. Okay, yeah. I will give them this. When I first walked into that area, I was like, for literal minutes, just
you walk up to the top of the cliff.
Yep, looking out. I'm like, this game is literally the best looking game I've seen.
Oh man, I just remembered something cool about the town. Is I believe the blacksmith, and his daughter. Oh, it's kind of us. Anyways, so I just really liked that arc of the story.
Yeah.
That was really cool.
For some reason, I feel like I did something weird in the town too, like in a well or something.
Yeah, you go down a well.
I think I was kicking chickens down the well or something weird.
I think that's Mort you got yourself thinking of, but
yeah, that was influenced by Mort. You know.
Yeah. But every game has been influenced by Mort. It's kind of the.
It is.
Everything's Mort-like.
Mort is the first Souls game.
Yeah.
Technically.
But, yeah, I mean, in terms of Dark Souls 2, it's a game worth playing if you haven't played it. When I was speedrunning it, like, this was what I had for Dark Souls. I was in college, had the Xbox One, and, like, I didn't have the original Dark Souls on it yet. But, yeah, it was really fun to speedrun. It's a game that it's really not too hard to do, like, a speedrun and learn the routes. It may have changed quite significantly since then, but it was definitely the game I put the most time into, and I wish I didn't. Because it's
I regret everything.
I tried playing it. I'm playing through it recently. Like I've almost finished it at this point. It's not good. Like Dark Souls 1, I can go back play the original. Like it's clunky, sure. Demon Souls, sure. Dark Souls 2 just doesn't feel good to play.
Yeah, I want to. I don't know. Of course, I want to play through and beat them, and then I sit down. And I'm like, I'm not really that skilled, so I'm struggling. But I was kind of upset because I was working my way through, which I'm skipping ahead a little bit. Dark Souls 3, and I was actually doing pretty well getting through the game, but then I actually was moving right when I was, we were in the house doing all this stuff. And on top of that, I actually got the PS5. So I went from PS4 to PS5, and it was like, I got this cool new toy that I could play Demon Souls and Astro's Playroom or whatever it's called. And messed with the cool controllers, and then it just went down the hill, and I didn't play it anymore. So kind of sad. But I do want to play them. I want to give it another shot and like actually see if I can get through it. I already know just from the intro, like I said, I'm gonna like have to just straight rush through it as fast as I can just to get to the beginning. So
yeah, I might actually look up some of those speedrun strats just to get through the game faster if I'm not enjoying Dark Souls 2.
Yeah,
but I do wanna get through it.
I'll probably get through Dark Souls 1 before I get to Dark Souls 2, huh?
Fair. So let's move
You have
on.
a week to beat them all, Brad.
Yeah.
5 sleeps.
Let-
5 sleeps.
Five sleeps.
5 sleeps to beat him.
Oh man,
All
5
right.
sleeps are gonna go by so slow. Anyways,
So
so Dark Souls 2 came out in 2014. Exactly 1 year later, Bloodborne comes out,
Oh,
and they're
Check-
just like, "Hey guys, been working on this cool project on our off time. Here you go."
you know what's weird now? I'm looking at it too. They released the expansion to Dark Souls 2 a month
Less than a
before,
year
or something.
after.
Yeah, like literally like a month before Bloodborne came out.
February
Like, here,
5th and March
let's do a
24th.
little sprinkle.
Mhm.
So, but,
And that
yeah.
wasn't like the Scholar of the First Sin is like a really cool. That's the edition I play of the game because it changes things around, makes it a bit harder, in my opinion. But I don't know. It's just like, why are you not even a year after you're releasing? Like, I mean, I guess to a point it has all the DLC and whatnot. But come on, come on. At least like a year. At least hit the year point,
Mhm.
and don't release a game literally a month later that's way better. But
Yeah. So yeah, Bloodborne comes out and it's the first game that's not called Souls in a while. And everybody's like, it's gonna be different. It's this, it's
It's
that.
gonna be crap.
It's yep. I don't want it. Get it
No.
out of here.
I saw
going back
this
to Kingsfield.
I saw the trailer for this game, and I was like, "This is my cup of tea." I love folklore. I love Dark Souls.
The
This is-
Lovecraftian theme.
Oh, this is it. Like, this is me slaying werewolves and beating vampires or whatever. Whatever's gonna happen. Like, I just want a piece of this, and like the setting really sets the mood for me. But then the game itself it does not disappoint. Okay,
No, the game is beautiful.
yeah, I really it does have my least favorite boss out of the entire FromSoftware library,
Which is
I don't remember his name, but he's like one of the dumbest bosses. Like,
Is
You
it
go-
Rom, the spider?
no, you go in and you fight him, and he's just like a normal dude, and then he like
Oh, he's like running around.
you-
Mikolash, the host of Nightmares. He has like the cage on his head.
Let me look him up.
It's probably Mikolash.
Yeah, somebody else talk. I'll look him up.
all right. So I'll give you my, I guess, experience of the game. Okay, I've already explained to you how I play Dark Souls, which is fat roll, big weapon, don't know anything. So this game comes out, and I'm like, wait a minute, there's no shield. Wait a minute, I gotta
There's
be
not
quick.
super heavy armor.
Yeah. So and of course I love the environment, the atmosphere and stuff because of my horror,
Yeah, it's
love. It's right up my alley. And like I said, I think now with where I'm at, I could be better at the game than where I was when I was playing it then. And so I didn't get very far into the game. I've watched a bunch of the game though. I've watched people like play through it a ton, so I know about a bunch of it. But I would struggle just like getting used to the timings and whatnot. It was just off for me.
yeah, it
So-
was definitely a like super fast paced game as compared to Dark Souls and Demon Souls.
Yeah.
You're able to slow it down if you want.
Yeah.
And in this
so-
game, it's like it's basically the foundation of Sekiro, where you get that fast pace, like boom, boom, boom
I
pattern. game.
think that is why when I was playing Sakiro, I wasn't enjoying it as much because I like playing the game slower. Like I like doing it at my pace. Like if I wanted to go fast, I could go fast. But if I
I want
like-
to go slow, so I want to go slow.
yeah, I like taking my time. It's like I'm a person where I want to learn, like take it slow, learn the environment, and then after I've learned the environment, I'm like,
And
all right, I
die
know what's around the
50
corner.
times.
Yeah, I know what's around the corner. I can kind of run up and bolt in there
Yeah.
or whatever. That's just how I've always played them. So, the guy that actually just whooped on me. And actually, I remember everybody talking about it. Whooped on everybody the first few days.
Father Gascoigne?
Yeah. Absolutely demolished me.
Yeah, he wrecks people.
So, yeah. I've been telling Joe for days. It's actually been weeks. I've been craving to play this game. I don't know why.
I think I'm going to install it tonight. This is the one I haven't played in the prep for...
I might install it right now. I'm like very tempted to install it, but I'm like, I'm not gonna have that much time. Like, I really don't have that much time. It's 5 sleeps.
5 sleeps.
5 sleeps, and
it scratches the itch till the 5 sleeps end, at least.
Yeah, and I'm just thinking about it. Okay, once we're done with this, I'm going to bed.
Yeah.
And then
so then it's only 4 sleeps.
It's only 4.
Sleeps. 4 sleeps. I don't know what I'm gonna do. 4 sleeps. But but then after the work and stuff, when I'm away for work, I can't play it because I don't have the PlayStation with me. Now I'm down to 2 sleeps.
Oh no, you just take it with you to the office.
That's the only way.
That's what I gotta do. Bring the PlayStation to the office. Hold on, boys. Let me know when there's a call.
Go set to the monitor.
Yep.
Bravo, you come across your arch nemesis yet?
Oh yeah, it's just named the Blood-Starved Beast.
Oh, okay.
It's like, yeah, pretty early. But I just didn't resonate with that guy. I didn't like him. Probably banged my head up against him, too long, for too many short sessions. Just one of those things. Just didn't like him.
Do you have a favorite?
I don't know if it's an actual boss. I think it's just like a regular boss, but it's the like ultra giant werewolf that's at he's on a bridge.
Oh, the cleric beast, the first boss.
The first one?
Yeah, he's my favorite. I thought he was really cool.
He's cool, yeah.
Yeah.
Brad, how about your worst and first?
Worst is father, because whooped on me. Favorite? I don't know. I do kind of like the cleric beast just because he's once again the first guy you run into is very iconic. Simple dude.
I didn't realize he is the first.
Yeah, like I don't know. I'm a simple boy. Like first guys usually, other than the phalanx, because he's real boring. Which is probably why the Tower Knight's my favorite, actually, in Demon's Souls, being that he's like the second boss that you go against. Well, at least I always do. I always go to the Tower Knight right after the Phalanx. And I don't know, it's just like there's something about the first guys. I'm trying to look because I don't know them just based off of the names. I'll look at the wiki right now and I'm looking at just names. I have no idea what these.
I got a cool short story about that. So I got the itch to play Dark Souls again. So I go back and I play this thing. And I'm playing it kind of like in secret because I was working, was in the military, was going to school, all kinds of stuff. So didn't really have a lot of time to hang out with my friends. So I'm just like grinding on Dark Souls. And then I go over to my buddy's house. He's like, hey, check out this game, Bloodborne. I'm like, oh, yeah, cool. I've been wanting to play that, So I get on there. And they're like, here you go. We're doing like one runs. Like there's like 5 of my friends at this one house, so it's like you go until you die and pass the controller. So okay, I give it a shot. Yeah. And I won life all the way to this cleric beast. One time, like didn't get hit, nothing. Like, what's wrong with you? How are you doing this? And I'm like, I don't know. Is this parrying? I don't remember. and I get to this guy and I get him like 1 hit, maybe 2 hits away from winning. And he gives me the old swipe, and I like insta died, and I was like, oh guys, dang, that sucks. And I handed it off, and they were all like, just looking at me like, what's wrong with you? He's like, I might have put like 40 hours into Dark Souls in the last week or so. I don't know.
Maybe, yeah.
I don't know.
How about you, Joe? What are your?
Yeah. So worst is Rom, the Bosch's spider. That boss fight is so dumb. It took me so long to figure out where to go, first off. Because I wasn't paying attention, or my dad was playing whenever like he talked to the dude in the wheelchair above.
Oh, okay.
So I had no idea what to do. So I'm like playing the game, running around, and then eventually I'm just like, screw it, I need to die and go back. And I jump off, and I'm like, what? Like what? But the fight itself is just dumb. It's basically just it's the Four Kings. It's a DPS test. Like just see how fast you can kill it. Dumb. Don't like it. My favorite, Viker Amelia. It's you walk into the church and there's this chick sitting there at the altar praying, and then she puts like a pendant on and turns into a giant werewolf, and it's like, oh, she's so cool. The character design is amazing. The boss fight's not too hard, but she's just such a cool boss. I loved it. And my honorable mention would be the Moon Presence, which is like the optional final boss. It's just the game's so weird, and then it's just like, oh well, if you collected all the umbilical cords, and here you go, you get to fight the moon. You know, what?
Here you go.
But yeah, that's about it for me.
All right, I guess we can move on to the next one, which is Dark Souls 3. Actually,
Whoa! You're missing a game, sir.
What am I missing?
Between Bloodborne and Dark Souls 3, September 2015, they released Monster Hunter Diary, Poka Poka, Aru Village DX for the Nintendo 3DS, and then Dark Souls 3. There you go.
Yeah, it's a spin-off from Monster Hunter. It's a chibi game. Pretty sure it's Japanese only. They go from like all these Dark Soul games, and then they go Bloodborne, like we're going real dark, and then like cutesy.
I'm convinced some other studio is like, we don't want to do this, and they're like, we'll do it.
Please, I need to cleanse my palate.
You want to pay us? We'll do it.
For the love of God. Can I make the next Finding Nemo game?
Honestly, these random weird games that they do very well could be palate cleansers. They're like, I don't know. Give me 2 rabbits. I'll race them. I don't know. There you go.
Yeah.
What are we gonna call them? Cookie and cream? I don't
know. To be fair, though, like that's such. Oh, I love
idea.
Everything about cookies and cream.
Goofballs,
I can't
man.
wait to get my hands on that game. I'll play both hands by myself. I don't care.
I think they do a raffle. Every year they do a raffle, and like, okay, winner of the raffle, as we all know, gets to pick what game we developed this year.
And then there's Todd in the back.
Win back! Win back! But Miyazaki has like, it's like 100 to 1 odds that his name is picked out of the hat, and he's just like, Souls!
Miyazaki's just putting his name in the hat 49 out of the 50 times.
Miyazaki's the one that's pulling names out, and he reads just like Tom. He's like, it was me, guys. I don't know how this keeps happening.
Oh, man.
But Dark Souls 3. Bravo, you're the one with the most fresh playthrough. Take us through it.
Solid game. Front to back. It feels like Dark Souls 1 continued. The game is very pretty, and I did a claymore, a large sword playthrough, and really enjoyed myself. Although I struggled with the final boss quite a bit, and I also struggled with the. What is the giant's name? Yorm, the giant. And I did look up what the heck I was doing wrong, because I was like, what is, like, I can stay pretty accurate for a while, but this is ridiculous.
It's like, am I that under leveled?
and then I did. It took me probably like 6 fights with Yorm alone just to figure out how to use the sword's ability. I'm like, what do I do now? Like, what's going on?
Like, so that only hits for 12. Like, what?
That was the only cheese fight that I was like, okay, whatever. I almost.
There's people that do soul level 1 fist only against Yorm.
Yeah, well, good for them. I mean, it's possible. I got him down a pretty good amount without knowing about the mechanic.
Yeah.
So, like, I know it's possible for me to beat him, but I was just like, this is, I don't know. I get it. He's a giant, but holy biscuits. Um, the I did almost I got pretty emotional whenever I went to Anne Orlando and found my boy, the blacksmith, uh, uh, deceased in his workstation. I thought that was very emotional. uh, yeah, I really enjoyed the game. I don't know what else to say.
It's definitely a return to form in the terms of like returning closer to the Dark Souls 1, which was a good thing in my opinion.
Yeah.
But you definitely seen elements of like Bloodborne mixed in with like the second phase of fights.
Mm-hmm.
It also was a little bit faster paced from
Yeah, it was kind of the
from
mix
other one.
between Dark Souls 1
Yeah,
and Bloodborne.
it was slower than Bloodborne.
Yeah,
but
I thought
it
it was a good point.
Yeah, honestly, I think the combat of Dark Souls 3 is a pretty because I could still play my fat roll shield boy.
Yeah.
You know, not that I was playing fat roll anymore, but I learned at that point, don't fat roll.
Mm-hmm.
But I think it just was feeling a little smoother. Where Dark Souls 1, like, you know, game's good, but you definitely are like not the smoothest gameplay wise. And then like as it goes on, it's gotten way smoother. Or not. I mean, Elden Ring is gonna be like insane, probably. I'm sure. So
I can't wait.
who knows? What if it's like the worst one?
I'll cry.
We're hyping it up, and we're like, I hate it. It's terrible.
I don't want to make this podcast about Elden Ring, but I do have one worry where
We'll get there. Elden Ring's
okay,
last.
all right.
All
No,
right,
we should talk about it next episode actually, but
Dark Souls 3.
yeah.
Okay,
Worst
so
to first.
Worst to
Go.
first.
Go. Are you?
You're first.
I'm first.
Worst and first boss.
The worst one. The guy. I honestly hated the Abyss Watchers.
They throw some hands.
They were, yeah, it was real annoying. That was actually the last time I played through when I was moving at the PS5 and stuff. I just beat them, and I don't know who my favorite would be. Honestly, nothing's really.
There's a lot of really cool bosses in this.
There are.
I think the problem right now is because I haven't played through a ton and my brain doesn't remember it. Like I'm looking at it and what I remember are like the beginning guys, which is most prominent in my head right now. Yeah. So, but I mean I liked even the Abyss Watcher. I didn't like them because they were slapping them cheeks, but I kind of liked them because they're kind of cool. That makes sense.
So I played Dark Souls 3 up into the Abyss Watchers and then took a really long break, and I came back and was like relearning, like refreshing my mechanics with the Abyss Watchers, and I stayed there for a while. I like those guys, but my least favorite is Aldrich. It just seemed like an inconsistent fight, and I don't know. I did not like that.
Aldrich is a struggle bus for most people.
Yeah. Joe, before I got there, he was like, "Hey, just let me know when you get there. You'll know." And I'm like, "All right." And I stopped going to the Discord when I was playing against him because I was like, I can't, like, because we stream our games frequently. I was like, I can't stream this to people. This is embarrassing. I'm just gonna like grind, like when nobody's
Imagine how
awake,
I feel.
and just do this thing. So he's my least favorite, although I respect the fight. My first favorite, honestly, it's a tie for the exact same reason. So the Soul of Cinder or Pontiff. And the reason is,
I remember you were not having fun with him.
the reason is because it's a straight fight. Like, there's not a lot of gimmick to it. It's just you gotta play good. You gotta get good. So I thought Pontiff was like really hard, but as I played against him, I learned the mechanics, and it felt like a dance. Like he has plenty of moves that are randomized, so you got to stay on your toes. But whenever I beat him, I literally I was screwing off in the Discord. Uh, Joe and a couple other people in there, Sushi and Donuts, were in there, and I was mad, and I was like, you know what, we're just gonna play, and I was crap talking him the whole time. I was like,
Muted
yeah,
his
whatever,
mic,
bro,
deafened, like
whatever, bro.
hat backwards, lean forward.
No, I was like, yeah, good throw, bro. I'm just gonna dodge it here, and I whooped his booty, and it felt great because like it felt like two master swordsmen going at it, and defeating him was really cool. And then the exact same feeling for the Soul of Cinder at the end, where it's just like, all right, this guy's got some abilities. You're gonna have to play well. And there's a little bit of a cheese, a little bit of a RNG where, if he doesn't whip out the correct weapon orders, you might get an easier fight than not. But it was good. I like the straight up
When you
fight.
fight him 50 times, you face all of them, so it don't matter anyway.
Yeah.
So, I absolutely adore the bosses of this game. But if I were to pick a worst, Cathedral of the Deep, it's the Deacons. I just hate those stupid gimmick swarm fights. But Miyazaki, please stop. Stop with that and stop with swamp areas because they suck.
Oh,
Yeah.
Get ready.
I think
He's already
one.
it's confirmed.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I think like one group fight like that is fine because like, oh, it's cool, like the boss of this area is like a whole army or whatever. That's cool, but you do it too often, it's like,
yeah.
all right.
And then my honorable mention for worst is the Curse Rod of Greatwood. It's kind of a gimmick fight, but
Yes, it's true.
It's kind of just like why it's not fun. But so for my favorite, I actually can't pick between three of them, and they're for all different reasons. So my first is gonna be the dancer, for literally the exact reason Bravo said about Pontiff. Like just copy and paste everything he said. That it's literally a dance to fight it, and it's so much
Yep.
fun. And I actually wore her armor set, or his armor set. I don't know what it is. After I beat it, the rest of the game, it's my favorite armor set in Dark Souls. Even the weapons are super cool, but my second favorite boss is actually Osiros, the Consumed King, just because of like the dark tone of that fight and the fact that they're holding the baby the entire fight. Super like off-putting, and I don't know if Bravo made it through to this boss because it's an optional pathing, but I have a few bosses for Bravo that we're gonna go back through and have him play through. But and then my final boss, which I'm almost certain Bravo didn't fight either, is the Nameless King, just because like that's the difficult fight of this game, and you work to beat it, and it's outside of the DLC with like Midir, it's the most fulfilling fight, in my opinion. But if I had to pick one, it's probably between the Dancer and Osiros, and I wouldn't be able to pick just because I like them both for different reasons. But Osiris is definitely like the most off-putting character, boss, creature in Dark Souls to me.
Gotcha.
Brad.
Alright. But I already mentioned I haven't played it enough to really have like a favorite. And
Just go off looks.
I mean the Nameless, he looks dope. He looks dope. Gotta give him that. And like I said, the Abyss Watchers, I just said them because they were whooping on me. Actually, I was gonna mention that I remember watching you specifically play them, and you were playing. I just remember you just saying stuff under your breath, like, yeah.
Yeah,
Real.
okay, that was my bad. That was my bad. Yep.
He gets real quiet.
That was too aggressive. Yep. My best weapon in a Dark Souls game is patience. Like momentary anger, but I just like I'll just play a boss until I beat it. Not really out of skill, but just time. Like eventually, I'm gonna get the RNG correct. Yeah.
Yeah. So, yeah, I guess we'll go on to the last one before Elden Ring, which is Sakiro, which we already have talked about a bunch from the catch-up episode if you haven't watched that. I guess we'll briefly can just mention our thoughts on it again real quickly, maybe. You guys want?
Yeah, I'll go first.
Yeah, go ahead.
It's a completely different type of mechanic from the Souls games that I don't really resonate with. I think the game is good. I just don't think I'm good with the game. I will eventually go back and play it whenever we're not having such great releases of games all in the same month.
To back. Or the same day.
Oh, yeah.
Or the same freaking day. But it's definitely like a pocket pick, you know, like I keep it downloaded on the PC for when the internet fails. I can just boot this sucker up and play it. The environment is really cool. And the fact that it still has monsters in it surprised the heck out of me. And I honestly want to play through the game just to see what other kinds of monsters are in it.
Yeah, Bravo was like down in the dumps, and then he got to the Sunken Valley and saw the giant serpent, and it was just like a light bulb popped, and he's like, "It is Dark Souls."
Oh! Yeah.
Oh, yeah. I guess I'll just do mine quick. I am probably the most negative on the game. I didn't really care for it much at all. And I think it's still just because of the way I play the Souls games. And on top of that, I feel like part of the big draw to me for the Souls games is the kind of, you get to pick your classes, you get to pick the gear that you want to play with, the fact that I'm only really using, I know that there are different attachments and whatnot, but like I'm using this one sword. This is it. My character looks the same the whole time. You know, like I like when it's like, ooh, found this new armor set, put it on, and you know, you're trying different things that get, you know, if you want to do a run with an axe or a spear or that, I feel like is a lot of the Souls games.
Yeah, that's what made this game feel the least replayable to me, personally.
Yeah.
So I mean, I really don't have much to say about it. It just it didn't resonate with me at all. And I tried, I just couldn't get past that, I feel like, for me. Because that's a lot of what keeps me in the Souls games. Is like, I'm playing this character I want to play, and I just didn't want to play as the main dude in Sakiro.
Yeah. See, I'm the complete opposite spectrum of Brad. It's the type of game I play in Dark Souls anyway. Obviously, Dark Souls is less about parrying and more about dodging, but I like the fast, agile, curved sword. But this game, it definitely took some getting used to for me, because I definitely had way too much Dark Souls implanted in my head going into this. Like, oh, it's a new Dark Souls. You dodge, you dodge, you dodge. But this game, like, it forces you really quickly in the first few bosses to learn parrying is how you play the game. And once it like clicks, just like Dark Souls, once it clicks, the game becomes so much more enjoyable, and you're able to just kind of coast through for a while, and then you get to the bosses and turn your hat backwards, sit up, you know. But I just thought this game, like, overall might be one of the most, if not the most aesthetically pleasing of any of the games. Actually, scratch that. It is the most aesthetically pleasing. The game's beautiful, and the world is interconnected, just like a normal Dark Souls game, and like the Japanese theme was perfect. And I thought FromSoft knocked it out of the park. I mean, it's there's not a boss fight in this game I didn't enjoy, like top to bottom. Like in the worst to first, I mean, I don't expect these two to have them because they didn't finish the game yet. But literally, my least favorite fight is a Divine Dragon, which is one of my favorite fights, but it's my least favorite because I didn't get to do like a normal full non-gimmick fight with them.
Oh, I have a list. The doggone like pike guardsman in the path, like I don't know. He's got the big spear, and he's like
literally a shinobi hunter.
That dude, is it the one that I'm thinking of where
you have to get the Mikiri counter?
Yeah, so I'm pretty sure that dude ended my career.
That dude ends a lot.
That freaking guy.
So and I even like told you guys like, hey, go this route, like in your skill tree. Just trust me. Just trust me.
So I don't have obviously a ton of experience with the game, but I will say there's one. I don't know if Bravo's seen it or where he got to exactly, but the Guardian Ape.
Oh, the Guardian Ape's so cool.
So, and that's just from me watching stuff. Just the cool reactions and whatnot that people have fighting him.
Yeah, I mean, I was definitely had that reaction whenever I first fought him. Yeah, I was just like.
So, it definitely was a cool one. So I'll just give a little shout out to him.
Yeah,
definitely cool.
And then my favorite, like actual favorite, is Ishin, the final boss. It's so there's 2 fights in Dark Souls, Soulsborne period, that I've like struggled and like had to like put hours and runs into, and it was Ishin and then Slave Knight Gale at the end of Dark Souls 3's second DLC, and they're my 2 favorite fights across the board in terms of like skill, and Ishin's is just like so perfect to end this game because it takes everything and combines it, whereas most of them don't. And it's just perfect. Everything about the fight, the game comes full circle, as most people know, and bone apple tea.
So now we have technically that's the last game, but
yeah, I don't think we should talk about Elden Ring.
I think we do.
I think we sprinkle.
I think we do. Because here's the thing.
Appease me.
Here's the thing that I don't know if you're thinking about. This is the last time we're gonna sit down, the three of us,
and not have it in our hands,
and have not played it. Because by the time we sit down and do another podcast, we've played the game.
You're gonna be prying me off the game.
Yeah, we'll never have this talk again where we don't have the actual on-hand experience.
All right, let's do it.
So, I'm not saying we talk super in depth about it, but we just give our opinions and whatnot. So, here's I guess this is my one fear I have with the game is and it's with a lot of stuff that's hyped the way that this is that it's so hyped that it doesn't live up to the expectations, even though the game is already being scored extremely high and whatnot.
FromSoft releases a game nowadays, it's game of the year, period. Don't release a game the same year FromSoft does. You're fighting a losing battle.
Pretty much.
Also, don't release your game the same freaking month as such a hyped game, like, period. I don't care who it is.
Nintendo, listen, don't drop a game the same day. I mean, given you're kind of technically giving the game out. But it like, how are you going to do that to me, Nintendo? They're dropping Majora's Mask for the Switch on like the Nintendo Online thing. February 25th, the day of Elden Ring. Like, what? Why are you doing this to me? You can't make me pick between my 2 babies. I mean, I'm talking Elden Ring, but
yeah. So for me, the game obviously looks gorgeous, and I think the thing that I'm liking the most is it looks even more customizable than the other games. So I'm like,
I changed my mind. I don't want to talk about Elden Ring anymore.
I need to go to sleep.
Oh, I do too.
I gotta go. Like, I need to knock this sleeps down to 4 sleeps.
I need 4 sleeps. I don't need 5.
We're getting 4 sleeps.
I've never been so excited for a game. Never.
I have.
It's ridiculous. The only thing that can make me more excited is if they're like Silent Hill. That's literally the only thing that can do it to me right now.
I don't know. I think the problem is now that I've gotten a little older, the excitement levels have gone down. Like, nothing is really topping the younger, like, and it's not even younger, it's just post high school, like when you have like a little more time and whatnot. It was,
Yeah.
I just was a little more hyped in general. The last thing I could think of was like the God of War game. That one I was pretty hyped about, but I don't know. Like I'm super hyped about the game, but it's not like where I'm like, holy crap, counting down the
Counting your
hours. Like,
sleeps?
yeah, I'm not counting the sleeps. I'm just like, oh, it's here. All right, cool.
Yeah, I've never been so excited. The game looks so good. It's just gonna be like a cluster of all of the Soulsborns with Sekiro, and I'm so excited. The characters look so cool. The armor sets that we've seen, the enemies are just like off the wall, bonkers. Like,
Yeah.
what's happening here? I love it.
I think my only worry is that the worry is spawned from anxiety because I want the game to do so well. I want it to live up to the hype, but I'm worried that it's going to follow the same kind of trope of other conversions to open world type games where it's open
But
and
empty.
it's empty, and they've sacrificed content for space. So, you know, you have X amount of developers at your studio, and you're like, we're going to make a map this big rather than a map like this that's built like a corkscrew, like we talked about, where, okay, well, in order to do that, these subsections of our people have to develop this one area, and you have less time to do so. So it just becomes more open. It becomes more boring. And I hope that they've balanced that. I've seen things that make me more optimistic to, you know, them succeeding, because they're adding things like dungeons and other things that you can kind of dive into and experience a lot of content in one specific area. So, you know, big open world, make it fun to travel. So you've got the jumping system, and make the world pretty. They've done that for sure. So like there's things that make it optimistic for me, but I just, you know, just the anxiety of all of it. Just you know, I just need 5 more sleeps, and
5 more.
we'll figure it out.
Yeah,
The game, it's so beautiful, and George R.R. Martin, even though Game of Thrones show ended, but you know, he got some ideas in there, and I'm excited to see it in a video game form.
I think the thing I'm the most excited about for myself is, one, I honestly haven't spoiled like anything about it. Like
I know next to nothing.
I truly don't. Like, I'm excited to go into this thing blind and just experience it, and I'm, you know, excited, and I'm just hoping that I have the time and energy to put into it that I want to, is all. I think that's the biggest thing, you know. Like, I actually had that fear about Resident Evil Village. I was like, because at the time, I don't remember.
Yeah, you were nervous about it.
All I remember is that I was.
You worked the day of release. I know that.
I was working the day of release, and then I was going to Bethany's. I think that day or something.
Yeah, I remember.
It was something weird like that, and I'm like, I don't even. Or no, it was the next day. I was going to Bethany's.
There's me that's sitting in Discord like, it's so good, Brad, play it.
Yeah. So I worked. What it was is Friday I worked, and then at night I had the time from night, and then Saturday I was going to her place from Saturday, Sunday, Monday, and then I had to go back to work or whatever. And
I remember that.
And I was like, I don't know when I'm gonna get into it or whatever. Well, you just don't sleep.
Brad would just randomly join the Discord like, what's going on? I don't want to watch. Just tell me, like, is it good or?
Because Joe.
And then I binged it like midnight release.
Joe was
like
done by the time I started.
There was 10 people in the Discord, like just all sitting silently watching me play. And I'm like, this is so awkward.
And more viewers than your Twitch streams.
I know, and I talk to them about as much as my Twitch streams too.
Yeah.
0.
So yeah, are you gonna do that for Elden Ring?
What? Just sit in the Discord and play it?
Yeah. Are you gonna stream it?
If I do, it'd be Twitch because I got it on PlayStation 5.
Gotcha. Yeah. So I have a thing for us. So because I guess I just want to hear your impressions right before going into it. Right? Like obviously we'll talk on our own beforehand, but like the podcast sense. I kind of want us to not say too much. Like other than you having fun? Yeah. All right. That's it. We'll save it for the podcast. Save it for the podcast. I kind of want it to be like that for us. Just because I think it'll be interesting. Like take some notes. Just all right. Where'd you get? And we'll try to.
So you're saying this, but there's a high likelihood that like you guys don't see me this weekend.
Yeah.
Coming up because I'm literally just.
I'd say there's a pretty high likelihood you won't see me either.
Well, I know I won't see you, but
yeah,
I meant more.
I'll be gone. For the viewers, I am not going to be in the States. So
I'm so. All right, so when we record it, I'm hoping that we all have at least enough time to put at least like Joe. We already know is probably gonna have the game beaten by the time podcast comes out.
Yeah,
don't doubt it, boy.
We'll have to figure out who's the least far, and then do like spoiler free from that point on for that person.
Or we just dump that person.
We just
kick them out.
Yeah,
we talk up to somebody's point and we kick them out, and then there's one man standing. But yeah, speaking of, obviously Bravo City is going to be gone next weekend. So next week's podcast episode is going to be later in the week. What are we going to say, like Thursday? Or do we just want to go?
Thursday's a good guess. Yeah, we've got some doggone real life stuff that's getting in the way with work and sickness and stuff, but we want to be able to receive Elden Ring properly and like get a good playthrough and then talk about it in the follow-up podcast, because one reason why we do this podcast is for memories. So to be able to go back and watch the last bit of episode 35 and see our excitements and worries and whatnot, and then go to the next episode
36 and see either
like just how wrong they all were.
Yeah, just utter disappointment. Just we start the podcast and it's like
I'm over there in the corner crying.
Yeah. He's hugging like a statue of Solarian. It'll be okay.
We're coming back. We're going back
to
Dark Souls.
We're gonna praise the sun. We'll do it. I swear. All right. Anyways, I gotta go to bed.
Yeah. All right, gang. Thanks for hanging out with this episode. It was a little bit longer than what we even planned.
2 for 1.
But
jammed them together.
Had a good time. Yeah. Drop a like, drop a follow if you want, subscribe, whatever. You can yell at us on Twitter at envision_org, and we'll catch you next time. Enjoy Elden Ring.